Title: The Rebirth of a Legend, the 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser. Cinematic opening, VO voiceover. Soft wind, distant engine hum, low, resonant percussion rises. Narrator: calm, resonant. In a world where roads end and maps surrender to dust, some machines refuse to be defined by convenience. They exist for destinations that cannot be paved. They are measured not in luxury but in miles and memories. They are the tools of explorers, the trusted companions of adventurers, the quiet, indestructible heartbeat of journeys that test the limits of human will. Music swells, a silhouette of a boxy SUV crawls over a ridge at sunrise, mud on its fenders, horizon blazing. Narrator: this is more than metal, more than torque, more than badges, this is legacy. This is the Toyota Land Cruiser. Beat: camera closes in on a headlamp, lens flare, title card appears. Text on screen: The Rebirth of a Legend, 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser. Narrator with a smile in the voice, and now it's back. Intro: host on camera. Host: energetic, warm. You know, some cars come and go, but then there are legends, vehicles that make you feel something: confidence, nostalgia, a sense of adventure. The Land Cruiser has always been one of those, and after years of rumors, leaks, and endless speculation, Toyota has returned with the 2026 Land Cruiser, a model that nods to its past while stepping forward with hybrid power, modern tech, and genuine off-road credibility. Host: leaning in, excited. Today we're doing a deep dive. We're talking heritage, engineering, design choices, tech, off-road systems, and what this new Land Cruiser means for the brand and for anyone who's ever dreamed of an SUV that can go anywhere and last forever. Section 1: The Legacy, History, and Context. Narrator: to understand the 2026 Land Cruiser, you need to understand where it came from. Archive photos: 1950s Toyota BJ, 40 series, 60 series, 80 series, 100 series, 200 series. Narrator: the Land Cruiser story begins in war-torn post-war years when Toyota adapted a military vehicle into a rugged utility, the BJ. It was simple, strong, reliable. From the 40 series that became an icon of endurance to the luxury-leaning 100 and 200 series, the Land Cruiser carved a reputation for durability and capability, often in places other cars would not dare go. Host voiceover: over decades, the Land Cruiser became a symbol, not for flash, but for dependability. NGOs, explorers, ranchers, and families alike put faith in its ability to traverse deserts, cross continents, and simply keep running when everything else failed. Narrator: and yet markets change. Regulations push emissions, consumer tastes shift toward luxury, and the Land Cruiser evolved, sometimes stretching toward premium features, sometimes doubling down on function. By the early 2020s, Land Cruiser variants had split, with the Lexus GX and LX taking on the luxury side, while Toyota experimented with the mid-size 4Runner and full-size Sequoia and Tundra. Host: then came the quiet years. Toyota removed the Land Cruiser from some markets, fans mourned, the legend felt paused, but legends rarely vanish forever. Section 2: Design Philosophy, Old Soul, New Lines. Visuals: 2026 Land Cruiser rolling through varied terrain, close-ups of boxy profile, grille, and fender details. Narrator: first impression, Toyota listened. The 2026 Land Cruiser returns to a more boxy, upright silhouette, an aesthetic choice that is as much emotional as it is functional. Host: those squared fenders, flat hood, upright windshield, they're not nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Boxy shapes maximize interior volume, improve outward visibility, and give the vehicle a posture that says it's ready for serious work. But Toyota didn't just copy the past, they refined it. Shots of modern LED headlamps, clean panel lines, subtle aero elements. Narrator: modern touches are blended subtly, crisp LED lighting, integrated aero for efficiency, and a proportion that's less slab-sided and more sculpted. The result is a vehicle that reads as classic at a glance but contemporary up close. Host pointing to trim differences. Toyota will offer multiple trims: a hardcore utilitarian trim with steel wheels and cloth seats for the purist off-roader, mid-level trims that balance comfort and capability, and range-topping variants with leather, big alloys, and premium finishes. This spectrum matters. It allows the Land Cruiser to be both a workhorse and a wardrobe statement. Section 3: The Heart, Hybrid Powertrain Explained. Visual cutaway of engine plus motor, torque graphs, animation of hybrid flow. Narrator: under the hood, the big news, the Land Cruiser has embraced electrification. Host: Toyota pairs a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with an electric motor in a hybrid setup. The combined output: roughly 326 horsepower and 465 lb-ft of torque. Narrator: technical tone but accessible. That torque figure is the headline here. Torque matters off-road. It's the low-end grunt that crawls over boulders and tows heavy loads. By combining turbocharged boost with electric torque fill, Toyota delivers strong real-world performance while improving fuel efficiency. Host: now yes, purists miss the old V8 rumble, but engineering-wise this change makes sense. A smaller turbocharged engine is lighter, reacts faster, and when paired with electric assistance it can outpull older, larger engines while using less fuel. For owners who travel long distances or shoulder heavy towing, that's a practical upgrade. Graphic: comparison of fuel economy and torque curves between old V8 and new hybrid. Narrator: beyond the numbers, it's about drivability. Electric assistance smooths throttle response, reduces turbo lag, and allows for regenerative braking, useful on long descents and for recapturing energy during typical driving. Host: importantly, the drivetrain is tuned for durability. This platform borrows from Toyota's TNGAF architecture, the same robust base used for the new Tundra and Sequoia, engineered to take abuse for years. Section 4: Off-road systems, the real tools. Sequence: Land Cruiser tackling sand, mud, rocks, close-ups of differential lock, low-range shifter, crawl control knob. Narrator: capability is in the details. Host: near the center console, this Land Cruiser ships with full-time four-wheel drive, a locking center differential, and Toyota's multi-terrain select system plus crawl control. If you've never used crawl control, imagine a cruise control for rock crawling. You set it, the vehicle manages throttle and brakes, and you focus on steering the line. Narrator: ground clearance is generous. Suspension travel is engineered for rough rides, and Toyota's chassis tuning balances articulation with stability for true overlanders. The vehicle's wiring and mounting points accommodate accessory racks, winches, and auxiliary fuel, thoughtful packaging for expedition builds. Host: and for towing, trailer sway control, a dedicated tow haul setting, and that broad torque band from the hybrid make this Land Cruiser an excellent tow vehicle. Detail shots: skid plates, reinforced rock rails, water fording depth marks. Narrator: protection is practical. Steel skid plates under critical components, optional rock rails, and accessible service points. Toyota designed it to be fixed in the field, not only at the dealership. Section 5: Interior and comfort, rugged meets refined. Interior: walk-around, durable surfaces, leather, ventilated seats, USB-C ports, 12.3-inch touchscreen. Narrator: inside, Toyota found a middle ground. Host: sitting in driver's seat. You've got materials that stand up to dirt and mud, logically placed grab handles, easy to clean surfaces, but at the same time the cabin doesn't feel like a tool shed. The 12.3-inch touchscreen dominates the dash with Toyota's latest infotainment, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and OTA updates so your systems can stay current. Narrator: seats are supportive for long expeditions, heated and ventilated front seats, available heated rear seats, and configurable cargo solutions. The cabin layout prioritizes utility without sacrificing comfort. There are multiple USB-C ports, a head-up display option, and an available premium audio system for when pavement is preferable to peaks. Host: cargo versatility matters, modular storage, tie-downs, and an available split tailgate that makes loading gear easier. For families and weekend warriors alike, this is a vehicle designed around real needs. Section 6: Safety and electronics. Animations, adaptive cruise, lane tracing, pre-collision system. Narrator: Toyota Safety Sense 3 is standard, adaptive cruise, lane tracing assist, pre-collision alerts, and automated emergency braking. Host: on the trail, these features are helpful for long highway runs and tricky off-road parking situations. The system is conservative by design, it's there to help, not to be intrusive. Narrator: additionally, over-the-air updates mean safety systems and infotainment can be improved after purchase, a big advantage in a vehicle expected to be used in widely different environments. Section 7: Trim lines, options, and pricing. Host: standing by 3 different Land Cruisers, base, mid, top. Toyota is launching the Land Cruiser in several trims. The base is for purists, simpler materials, smaller wheels, and an emphasis on capability. Mid-trims add comfort, bigger wheels, and cosmetic upgrades. Top trims include leather, higher-grade suspension tuning, and advanced convenience features. Narrator, pricing is strategic. Toyota aims to bring the Land Cruiser within reach of more buyers after the older, luxury-leaning models carried six-figure tags. The 2026 Land Cruiser starts at a surprisingly accessible number, bringing true capability to more people. Host, that accessibility matters. More Land Cruisers on the road means a broader community of owners who can modify, adventure, and maintain these vehicles in the long run. Section 8, how it compares to past Land Cruisers. Sequences, split-screen old models versus new, bullet points, weight, fuel, torque features. Narrator, this model isn't a nostalgia copy, it's an evolution. Host, past Land Cruisers were heavy, simple, and nearly indestructible. They used large displacement engines that delivered torque but were thirsty. The 2026 model keeps the spirit, durability, simplicity of purpose, and off-road soul while modernizing powertrains, electronics, and safety. Narrator, where older models asked drivers to adapt, this one offers driver aids that extend capability and reduce risk. Where older models relied on brute force, the 2026 model uses smarter power delivery. Host, in short, it trades some old-school character for efficiency and usability, but it keeps the things that mattered most: strength, reliability, and the ability to go where others won't. Section 9, real-world scenarios and use cases. Scenarios: desert crossing, family road trip, remote worksite, overland expedition. Narrator, who is this Land Cruiser for? Host, it's for the overlander who needs a platform that can carry gear, handle long stretches off-grid, and be repaired roadside. It's for families who want a reliable vehicle that's safe and comfortable on the highway but can also play in the dirt on weekends. It's for people who tow trailers, boats, and campers, and those who simply want a vehicle that won't fail on an important trip. Narrator, durability and parts availability will make or break the ownership experience. Toyota's global support network and the shared TNGAF platform mean parts and serviceability are realistic even for remote owners. Section 10, the emotional case, why people care. Clips of owners washing their Land Cruisers, stickers on bumpers, kids in backseat. Narrator, soft, reflective, beyond specs and charts, cars are emotional. The Land Cruiser is a promise that when the road ends, the journey continues. Host, owners tell stories: a vehicle that crossed continents, one that pulled a community out of floodwaters, another that served as a family stalwart for generations. The Land Cruiser is woven into memories. Toyota knows that when you redesign such a legend, you must preserve something intangible: trust. Narrator, the 2026 Land Cruiser aims to rekindle that trust, offering modern conveniences without betraying the original pact that this vehicle will be there when you need it most. Section 11, potential criticisms and considerations. Host, balanced tone, no vehicle is perfect. Purists will miss the V8 soundtrack. Some will argue that modern electronics complicate the simple mechanical nature of older models. And for hardcore rock bouncers, weight distribution and electronic intervention might feel like intrusion. Narrator, but every technological step brings trade-offs. The hybrid system improves efficiency and torque delivery. Electronic aids, when unobtrusive, increase safety and capability for the average owner. The question is, what do you value more, romantic mechanics or practical performance? Host, for most buyers, the 2026 Land Cruiser's balance will be the right answer. Section 12, market impact and where it fits. Charts, market segments, competitor models like Land Rover Defender, Jeep Wagoneer, Lexus LX. Narrator, with this return, Toyota positions the Land Cruiser against premium off-road rivals but at a more accessible entry point. The Defender and Jeep Walker lines have proven consumer appetite for capable, retro-inspired SUVs. Toyota's advantage is its reputation for long-term reliability and a massive parts service network. Host, if Toyota executes production and supply without delays, we could see a resurgence in genuine overland culture centered around the Land Cruiser, aftermarket support, expedition builds, and a new wave of enthusiasts who prefer tried-and-true reliability. Section 13, closing, the rebirth, final thoughts. Scenic shots, dusk, Land Cruiser leaving a campfire, stars overhead. Narrator, warm, concluding, the 2026 Land Cruiser isn't a relic. It's a continuation, a renewed promise to the kind of ownership that favors durability, capability, and longevity. It brings modern answers to enduring questions: how to be more efficient without losing strength, how to add comfort without losing purpose. Host, looking into camera, if you love the idea of a vehicle that can tackle continents, tow heavy loads, take a family cross-country, and still be fixable with simple tools in the field, then this Land Cruiser might be the closest thing to perfection we've seen in years. Music swells then softens. Narrator, legends don't always roar back unchanged. Sometimes they return smarter, cleaner, and more accessible, but still stubbornly, beautifully themselves. Text on screen, the rebirth of a legend, 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser. Host smiles, thanks for watching. If you loved this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what do you want to see tested on this Land Cruiser? Rock crawling, overland packing, towing, we'll take it out and show you.